resolution recognizing the week of July 26th through August 2nd as Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week. And Councilmember Glover will do that proclamation.
Yes, ma'am. Before I do that proclamation, can I ask the chair for a privilege moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Take this with you so I'll get back. Madam Chairman, just before our caucus session, Renita Dewar, who's the executive director of the Gullah Farmers Co-op, made a presentation at that time and presented a gift basket of vegetables, local vegetables, that was given to all council members. And I just wanted to, these are tomatoes.
Yes.
I just wanted to acknowledge that because it was done during the caucus session, and a lot of time, a lot of the public don't view the caucus session. So with that in mind, because I have been a part of the Gullah Co-op, I can probably go down there and pick up a few things that they go away. So I'm going to take this opportunity to give this to our county administrator for him to enjoy. So.
There's some corn, there's eggplant, and other good things in there.
Yes.
And tomatoes. All right.
And at this time, Madam Chairman, Queen Quet will come forward. And there's a proclamation. Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Councilman Glover, will you read it into the microphone so that you record it?
Yes, ma'am. The proclamation, whereas Beaufort County was founded in 1711, and whereas the founding native Gullah Geechee were here in this coastal region in our state, and whereas the Gullah Geechee have been essential to the cultural fabric of our community, and whereas we have celebrated their contribution by actively being a part of the Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week since July 22nd, 2013, and whereas 2025 marks St. Helena Island's own Chief Queen Quet's 25th anniversary as head upon the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas Gullah Geechee has led the movement to protect Gullah Geechee culture, human rights, land and water rights for over 4 decades, during which she founded the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, and whereas the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition was the first organization in the world history to have Gullah Geechee in its name, and whereas the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition continues to forward the mission of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas this is the 25th anniversary of the Gullah Geechee Nation, now therefore be resolved that Beaufort County Council does hereby proclaim July 26th through August 2nd, 2025 as Gullah Geechee Appreciation Week in our county, and call upon all of our citizens to participate in celebrating the week in support of the activities happening locally and throughout the region under the theme 25 years of self-determination, celebrating the roots and legacy of the Gullah Geechee Nation. It is signed in this date, July the 9th, 2025 by Council Chairperson Alice Howard.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And then and you have the mic.
All right, thank you, this one.
That's yours, okay.
Don't tease my thing, look at it. Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here one more again, and I've been wondering why I'm gonna sit there and Councilman Glover, while I've been sitting there, what been coming in my head, been stay the field. Oh, stay in the field. Stay in the field until the war's ended. We used to crack we teeth and sing that all the time in the church fund historic Centennial Island. We're still at the epicenter of Gullah Geechee culture. So then I said, well, I can sing, I ain't gonna sing. God said, you can sing. And I said, well, they might don't want people singing here, but I can sing if God says sing. Then he come out with the basket. And I said, okay then. That's why God would have me for say, well, I didn't want to sing. That's how I straight into that. Now I know if he in that basket and cutes in it. I ain't know if any did.
No.
Okay, but that's been what God tell me since the other day when I've been in my field from Centennial Island. Say, this year where you have to tell that county council when you get to this church time. But the cutes will be in the field. Now the rest of the people in there, y'all call them cutes and things like that, y'all call them cucumbers. And then, when you ain't there from the same vantage point and things like that, if you ain't from the field, you can, how cutes did it, and you ain't gonna know they did it. Then they go rotten and done it. And so a lot of people who don't have the same vantage point as native Gullah Geechees, who literally grew up on these sea islands, actually putting our hands in the soil, toiling in the heat, harvesting, realize we have a different vantage point than others about our community and our culture. And it struck me about that vantage point because I was in my field the other day, and the tomatoes are easy to see, and especially when they turn red. Easy to see. So I'm glad that my brother didn't get to them before I did. So I get out there and I'm going to get those. But then God said, no, go on your next row. And I looked from a distance at that row outside the fence, because I need a fence now. I didn't need it before, but the deers want to eat more than I do. They want to harvest before I get there. So we need a fence. Outside the fence, it looked like there wasn't anything for me to look at on that next row. But when I stepped over there, I had to put my hand down and look between the leaves. And there were two big cucumbers like this, one of which I just ate before I came here to be prepared for tonight in case they said bring a lunch when you come to county council meetings. And so I ate before I got here. And God said, that's what the problem is. People who have come into Beaufort County now have a different vantage point. And for all my life, people have had a different vantage point. They couldn't see the value in Gullah Geechee people, our culture, and right on the way we practice teeth and things like that. They said they could see we backward and things like that. But I have lived to go all over the world now, and to all 50 states. And people say you all are brilliant for holding on to your culture and your community and keeping your area the way your ancestors kept it. Rural, healed, healthy waterways, healthy land that you can harvest from. But you would have your harvest right in the field if you don't have the right vantage point. If you don't know how to see where the fruit that's being born is. And so even when I was traveling last week, and I had a behind the scenes visit with Disney to see what he did, the vision he had to make sure that there were thousands of acres that were going to remain rural, that were going to remain forested. 11,500 acres I got to see, away from everything else. And the beauty is that most people who go there and hang out with Minnie and Mickey and the rest of them, they never realize this place is there. But the birds do. But these special monarch butterflies do. Other creatures I'd never heard of, I learned about. And I sat there thinking about how St. Helena is still that place. It's still that place that we can say is an epicenter of Gullah Geechee culture because someone had the vision and the vantage point to see the beauty of it and to sustain it and keep it that way and not let it become a resort area like everything else around us, become gated off like everything else around us on the sea islands up and down the coast. So I see now the harvesting at Penn Center. I see now the harvesting at the Gullah Co-op. I see now the harvesting with the St. Helena Gullah Housing Project. I see now the harvesting at our CDC. All these things that nobody thought would happen. I see the harvesting at Fort Fremont. I've been engaged with the St. Helena Branch Library and everything else that I just named. over all these years that people used to ask the question, like they did with Dr. King was here, they put a headline up that said, can anything good come out of Frogmore? Well, I'm glad I'm good. My last name Good Wine, but some goodness came out of Frogmore. Goodness came out from Seaside Road on St. Helena Island because we had vision to protect the whole place and what's around us. So I want to thank you, because one of the greatest meetings for me recently was sitting there in the St. Helena Branch Library, having you finally come meet there in that space and announce the next night there's a new center coming. And then you see the plethora of summer school programs, the summer programs that are also harvesting knowledge from our community. So I don't want you to be misled in any way that all this work that you see in the headlines is coming because somebody new came. It's coming from those who are already there. You just have to have the right vantage point and look, and you would see them the vineyard that'll bring in all this harvest and things like that. Ain't a come in things like that they told you. So in St. Helena, y'all already have this whole packet of materials. These are just the events that we're going to be hosting on St. Helena Island, most of them at Penn Center this summer, in celebration also of Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week. And I'll leave some out there for the public, but all of you have it already, and I also entered it into the public record. But there are a number of things that we're doing up and down the coast, have already been doing for this whole 25th anniversary of the Gullah Geechee Nation. And I'm also going to be going back to other parts of the world this year to celebrate with others who say continue to hold on just a little while longer. Everything going to be all right. So we have to stay in the field, harvesting the truth for who we done young. And I said, thank you for the county council, because y'all been know that. That's why 100 children to celebrate with me so long. But this year, it going to be a shocking time for truth. So I hope that when I did it on St. Helena on July 26th, I hope you're there at noon when the drums sound once again to honor the legacy of my ancestors, my elders, who knew what to plant in that sea island soil, because it's still growing in its harvest time. God bless you, Beaufort County. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate the honor.